Why should I trust? For what? I'm just going to be let down. What is the point when I know that people are always going to disappoint me? I might as well just do it myself.
Elevate with Monique. Elevate. Elevate with Monique.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Gracefully Elevating with Monique. Of course, I am your hostess, Mo, and I am so elated that you are here. Thank you for stopping by for just a few moments to spend some time gracefully elevating with your girl. We've been talking about the 5 types of childhood wounds because I think it's a relevant question when someone says, how do I know if I even have a childhood trauma or a childhood wound? Like, I don't even know what this childhood thing actually is. And I think that that's perfect. I think it's spot on. When we identify what it means to really focus on healing that inner child, sometimes breaking it down to understand what category we may fall into is a really good way to self-identify and go straight to that thing, right? So in another video, we talked about the abandonment wound. And in this video, we are actually talking about the betrayal wound. Now, I will say the betrayal wound and the abandonment wound, they are very, very similar. They're like brothers and sister, right? I actually dealt with the betrayal wound in addition to the abandonment wound. And those two went hand in hand when I started to unpack that. So for the betrayal wound, it is really having this belief, this core belief that you can't trust anybody because everybody's going to let you down. Everybody is going to back out of what it is that they say that they're going to do, right? And it makes you then start to feel like I just need to handle everything myself. Like I don't need to even put my trust in, thinking that somebody else is going to do this thing. I'm going to just go ahead and knock it out. How many of us can resonate with that? I know for a fact, I definitely have been that way. I remember my grandmother, God bless her soul, when she was alive, and especially when she was maybe like in her 80s. And we would try to do things for her. And she would say, get off of me or leave me alone. I can do it myself. I don't need no help. I don't need no help. And we would be like, okay, Grandma, but we're really just trying to take the weight off of you feeling like you have to do everything so that you can feel a little lighter in your load, right? And so it is with that betrayal wound when you are able to, put some sense of trust, and it's work, right? It doesn't just happen overnight, but when you're able to put that trust into people and know that it's going to get done and it's going to be okay, all is well, right? People who suffer from betrayal wounds, they usually are micromanagers. They don't know how to delegate. They don't know how to hand off things to other people because, again, remember, they don't trust. And so if they don't trust, then it's hard to hand it over to somebody and trust that they will get it done. They struggle with letting people get close to them. For me, oh my gosh, I struggled with intimacy and relationships just across the board. It was hard for me to really let my guard down and tell people about my life, even my closest friends at one point. It was very difficult for me to do that because I was afraid, one, of what they would do with that information. What if they didn't love me anymore? And I don't know if I can trust them with this information. It took a lot of unpacking and some reorganization of my friend circle, right? But thank God I don't suffer from that anymore. But you struggle with letting people get close to you and you are hyper independent. Like, again, I got it. I don't need any help. I don't need any support. How many people resonate with that? Probably more people than they would acknowledge. And I get it. It's not the most comfy, cozy feeling when you realize that you might have some betrayal wound residue or even open wounds that are there. But it's okay, because self-awareness is where you are able to learn where you need to get started. So now if you stay the same, you won't have fulfilling relationships if you stay in this betrayal mindset, because you won't be able to trust. And for many people, trust is one of those things where, like, if you don't have that, then what are we talking about? Like, what do we have? And so you find yourself living in that space. But if you want to acknowledge that this is really a place that you are in and you want to do the work, then what that means is you start to learn how to soften your grip. You start to learn how to accept help, but then also sometimes you even ask for help. Well, what do you think about that? And it feels really awkward in the beginning because you're not used to it, but as you do the work, as you trust yourself, that's a whole nother conversation, right? Because some of the betrayal, if I'm being honest, came from me, not trusting myself. I lived with that for many, many years. I didn't even know what trusting myself looked like. So of course it was deeply seated. But as I started to work on that, I started to learn how to soften my grip. I started to learn how to allow people to support me and lean into that. It feels awkward in the beginning, but you get used to it and you start leaning into it, because if you know that you are divinely attracting the right people, circumstances, places, things, opportunities, whatever, then the people that are in your space, they're supposed to be in your space anyway. So what am I saying with all of this? I am saying congratulations to yourself for even thinking about, is this something that I am dealing with, and how do I identify where I fall in that category? I created an assessment some time ago, and it really just identified where you were with your connection to your inner child. But I think in addition to that, understanding what wound you may have to go and pinpoint and deal with, I think that's also equally as important and as helpful. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video, where we are going to talk about the humiliation wound when it comes to our inner child. If you like this video, do me a favor. Go ahead and like the video. Actually, hit the like button. And if you like this content, if you feel like this is the vibe that is resonating with you, go ahead and subscribe, sis. I promise you that spending time over here, you are going to elevate your life gracefully, and we are going to do it together. And don't forget to hit the notification bell icon if you want to be notified when I drop some content. I'll see you in the next video. Love you.